Hello everyone, my name is Hannah. Welcome to a new video. So today's video is going to be a reading vlog. I haven't filmed for a reading vlog in like over a month now and I miss it. So we're gonna get back into it. I figured I would start with a little check-in about what I'm reading because I'm in the middle of a book that I haven't talked about. I did a little like chatty catch-up video because there were 4 books that I read. And normally I wouldn't need to talk about them in like a wrap up or something because I vlog for like almost every single book that I read. But like I said, I haven't been vlogging. So I have like a chatty catch up video where I talk about those books that I read. But I am currently reading Kingdom of Claw by Demi Winters. I am halfway through. I'm on page 281. This is the sequel to The Road of Bones, so this is the Ashen series. I read The Road of Bones last year and really loved it. It's a Viking-inspired fantasy with a slow burn romance subplot. I wouldn't necessarily call this series a fantasy romance, but there is like a romance in it. But yeah, I really loved The Road of Bones. It follows our main character, Scylla, who at the very beginning of the book, her father is like telling her some of this information and that they need to go on the run, and he ends up getting killed. And so Scylla is on the run and she just knows that like the queen's men are after her, but she doesn't fully understand why. And she goes to this Road of Bones, which is basically this treacherous road that there's all these like bandits and like murderous people on it, and then also like all of these like scary, terrifying killer creatures as well. And in order to survive on the Road of Bones, she ends up becoming a stowaway on this wagon for this like Viking crew basically, and they discover her and she convinces them to keep her around, that she can be helpful, and then she kind of falls in with this like Viking crew and it's like a found family aspect to it and lots of chaos ensues. I really enjoyed the first book. I really like Demi Winters' writing, and so I've been meaning to pick this one up. I wanted to pick it up like almost immediately after finishing The Road of Bones, which I read early 2024, but I never ended up getting around to it. So I've picked it up now and I'm really enjoying it. I like where the story is headed. I was surprised at how much I actually like remembered of what happened in The Road of Bones because I didn't read a recap or reread it at all, and I like just jumped right into this one and I was like, I know all the things that happened. And usually if it's been a year and I pick up a sequel, I'm like, I don't remember everything that happened. But with this series, for some reason, I'm like, I remember that scene very vividly. So I'm really enjoying it. We've got some new characters, new points of view that we're following, but we're still also following Scylla. And I like that the world is expanding and that the magic system is expanding for us. I'm having a good time with this one. This did get picked up by a traditional publisher, which slowed down the process of the next book coming out. So I have the two, like, I don't know if it's indie published or self-published. I think it's self-published. But yeah, it's slowed down the process a little bit, so I'm not terribly upset that I waited a long time to pick this one up, because now hopefully I won't have to wait quite as long for the third book, because right now there's no like release date for the third book. I don't even have like the title or anything like that, so I'm not quite sure when that one's going to be coming out, but I'm kind of hoping maybe later this year or early next year, which I would be okay with. I'm sure that like the covers are going to change or that it won't come out in like paperback right away, but you know, it is what it is. I just really enjoy this author's writing and I'm having a good time with it. So really enjoying that one. And then last night I decided to try to pick up Reckless by Lauren Roberts, which is the sequel to Powerless, which again, I read last year. I think it was last year, right? Yeah, and I had a good time with it. That one is like a fun, silly, goofy time. It's like kind of a Hunger Games style fantasy romance where the main character, Peyton, is an ordinary, so she doesn't really have any powers, but she kind of pretends to. She kind of pretends to be a psychic in this world where there's extraordinary people. Like everybody has these powers, and basically if you don't have any powers, if you're an ordinary, they like kill you. So she pretends to be a psychic because she's really good at like observation and like reading people, so she's like able to kind of pretend to be a psychic, and she ends up getting thrown into these trials which again are very similar to like Hunger Games, but it's not necessarily a fight to the death. It's just like death could potentially happen, so you got to be careful. And the romance in Powerless was like really fun for me because there was a lot of good like witty banter, and I just really enjoy that. But I started Reckless and I started listening to the audio. The reason why I picked this one up was because I wanted to listen to the audio because I have it on Spotify and I had like extra time for the month to listen to audiobooks on Spotify, and I didn't want to waste that. So I started it and I was like, I don't really like this audiobook, so I'm not gonna let that affect my reading. I'm gonna stop the audiobook and read this physically. And it didn't help. I just don't care anymore. I don't care anymore about these characters or what's happening. And honestly, the characters were like annoying me already. Like they were, the way they interacted, I was like, that's not what I thought we were gonna get in this book. I think this series was originally meant to be a duology, and so it got stretched out to be a trilogy, and this book is basically just like a filler book. I've seen a lot of reviews saying that like literally nothing happens until the very last line of the book, and it's just like a lot of like repetition of like the same conversations over and over. And even I got to page like 115 or something like that. Even in those first 100 pages, I was like, yeah, I'm just not here for it anymore. So I maybe would pick this up again eventually if I'm in the right mood for it, and then I can like complete the trilogy. But I was definitely not feeling this yesterday, so I just decided to DNF it because why not? I'm not enjoying it. Why would I keep on reading it? Just because I did have a fun time with the first book, so I want to continue the series. I'm not doing that this year. I'm just gonna DNF anything that I'm not having a good time with. I can always come back to it. I feel like sometimes when I DNF a book, it's like, that's it, no second chances. Like that's what my brain thinks, and that's not always the case. If I'm in the right mood for it, maybe I really love this, because I think I was in the right mood for Powerless when I picked that one up. But I've been having issues with fantasy romance the last like year, and I just think I'm not in the right mood for this. So I'm DNFing that one. Moving on from it. I do have the sequel to A Dawn of Onyx, which is also another fantasy romance, but I gave A Dawn of Onyx 5 stars. I loved that book. That's like one of my like top tier fantasy romances. So I could try to pick that one up, but I just don't know. I'm just nervous because like I said, I've had issues with fantasy romance as of late, and I don't want to pick up a book that I'm like skeptical of already. Like I want to pick up books that I'm like excited for. So I'm gonna let the Spotify time go off into the ether without me. So I'm just gonna continue to read Kingdom of Claw today, and then whenever I finish this, I'm gonna pick up Oathbringer, which I am so incredibly excited for. I love the fact that I am loving the Stormlight Archive, and I'm just so excited to get back into that world with those characters. I miss those characters, and I'm ready. I'm ready for them. I was like pausing my Stormlight Archive read so that I could try to catch up on some of the other Brandon Sanderson books that have some important information if I want to see some like connections in the later books. But I'm also kind of like, I'll definitely reread the Stormlight Archive books. So it's like, it might be better to see those connections on a reread maybe. I don't know. I'm a little worried that I'm like not gonna pick up on like the real subtle connections, because the only real experience that I've had with like crossovers of series that I've read has been Sarah J Maas, and obviously I know those books like the back of my hand, so I'm able to pick up on those like subtle little hints or nods to the other series. And I don't know that I'll be able to do that with these books, because even like just some of the names like of characters that I know really well, I'm like, that guy. Yeah, I am slightly worried that I'll miss those like subtle connections and hints and nods to the other series and whatever, but I have Kara who will be able to tell me what I'm missing. Like, Kara, what was the connection for these ones? Like, she'll be able to tell me, because her husband Reed too like has read Brandon Sanderson's books and knows them pretty well. Plus my friend Nate knows them really well. He's already told me one of the connections that completely went over my head, and I was like, oh, cool, missed that. So anyways, all that was to say basically that I'm not going to do like a specific reading order for Brandon Sanderson's books, because I'm okay if I miss those little connections and nods to the other series, because when I reread them, maybe then I'll catch on, you know? Like, I just want to have a good time. And you don't have to read them like in a specific order. Like, it's not necessary. It's just like if you want to read, like if you want to see those connections. I feel like I've said connections a lot. That's starting to not feel like a real word. Anyways, those are the reading updates for right now. I don't really have any plans for the rest of the day, so I'll probably read quite a bit more of Kingdom of Claw. Maybe not quite a bit more, but I'll read more of it. And then I want to do some planning in my planner. Normally, I've been going like week by week. Like on Sundays, I'll just plan for the next week and decorate my planner and all that. But I kind of want to plan for like a month or two ahead now, because I'm pregnant. I'm coming up close to that finish line. My due date is less than a month away. So it's like, once I have a newborn in my arms, like I'm not going to be spending much time decorating in my planner. Or I'm not going to have any time to do that. So I might try to like plan several weeks to maybe like a couple months in my planner, or decorate it so that I just have to write in the things, you know? So I might do that today. But yeah, other than that, that is the intro. Welcome to the vlog. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, let's just get the show on the road. Bump update. Look at that thing. 36 weeks and 3 days. Time's ticking. This is a terrible angle. Look at that belly. Anyway, so I was gonna plan in my planner. Last week was one of my favorite spreads that I've ever done. Let me just make sure that there's nothing on here that I need to like cover up. Okay, I've covered them up with little post-its, but look at this spread. How cute is that? Like the cloud, and then I put little fairies, and then I've got like the constellations and stuff, my sparkly clouds. It's like my favorite. It turned out so cute. And then I didn't have a chance to plan for this week, and it's so bare bones. Like there's nothing. Like I put the little strip, like the marker thing that I do, and like a couple stickers, but it's so basic. So anyways, some weeks might end up like that, but hopefully they can turn out cute, because like, you know, I like the ones with washi tape and stickers. I know that's upside down for you, but you get what I mean. But anyways, we've got, yeah, I want to at least plan next week, and then probably like all of February, maybe even like February and March. Let's try it. All right, hello. I have some reading updates for you. So today I finished reading Kingdom of Claw by Demi Winters, and I really enjoyed this one. I'm loving this series. I feel like not enough people are reading this series. I think The Road of Bones, when it got picked up by a traditional publisher, it was picked up as a book of the month pick. But I still feel like not enough people are like talking about this. So if you haven't read this yet and you're a fan of like fantasy books that have a strong romance subplot, that's not necessarily like fantasy romance, like where the romance is like a super major like theme in the book, I think you need to read this, because the romance in this is like pretty slow burn and kind of takes the back seat. But it's still like, it's there. It's not like just a couple mentions here and there. Like the romances that take place in this series are really good, but the fantasy is like what you're here for. Anyways, I really loved this sequel. I liked getting more from Saga's point of view, and the world, well, mostly like the magic system expands quite a bit in this book. And I had a lot of fun. I just really loved like where the story is going, and I thought the ending was really good, so I'm very excited to pick up the second one. There were some scenes in here where I was like on the edge of my seat, and I'm just having a really good time with it. So I'm giving this one 4 stars. I really, really loved it. So I definitely think that you should give it a try if you haven't yet. I also like randomly picked up the audiobook for The Psychology of Money by Morgan something. I'll pop up the picture of the book on the screen. I am using like my audiobook listening time from Spotify. I had some time left and this audiobook is really short. I haven't finished it yet though. I'm a little over halfway through. Basically, one of my goals this year is to kind of pay more attention to my finances. I'm doing a low buy year, and I want to be more intentional about what I am spending my money on, especially because I have like daycare costs coming up, which daycare is insanely expensive. But yeah, I've just been like thinking about it a lot more. I've like started a spending tracker spreadsheet that I got from the YouTube channel Nisha. So I'll leave her channel linked down below, or I'll leave that video linked down below if you're interested in a really easy to use spending tracker that's like already done. I'm really liking it. Anyways, she had mentioned in one of her videos about this book, The Psychology of Money, and it's not like tips to help you save or anything. It's mostly just like how people think about money and wealth. So it's more just like interesting than it is like helpful. But yeah, I'm just like listening to that whenever I have like a free moment where I'm not like wanting fiction. That one's kind of random because I don't really read a lot of nonfiction, but whatever. I picked it up. It's a book that I'm reading this year. So basically all that to say is just I've picked up this nonfiction book about money. But yeah, I'll continue to listen to that like as I want to throughout the month. I only have like, I don't know, an hour or 2 left of the audiobook, so there's not much left of it, but I figured I'd mention it. But the next fiction book that I will be picking up, I'm very, very excited about. It's Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. I'm so excited to go back into this world and be back with my favorite characters and just see where this story is gonna go from where we left off in Words of Radiance. I'm just really excited, and it is a long one. This might be the longest book I've ever read. Yeah, it's over 1,200 pages. I think once I read this, this will be the longest book that I've ever read, which, I mean, makes sense. Look at this thing. I'm really excited to dive into that one. So that's what I will be reading. I'm probably not going to get much reading done tonight because I have to film a video and edit it and get it ready to post. But in the next few days, I'll be starting that, and I'll be sure to give you my initial thoughts on that one. I don't want to talk too much about it since it's the 3rd book in a like very big fantasy series. So obviously like the books are super long, so I don't want to spoil anything or like mention characters' names, just because knowing if certain characters survive is kind of a spoiler. So yeah, basically that is it for the update. I just wanted to let you know that I finished Kingdom of Claw. I picked up a random nonfiction book about money, and I'm going to be starting Oathbringer. So I will check in once I have something to say about Oathbringer. Oh my god, I'm out of breath. Alright, hello everyone. It is Monday night. I can't remember when I last updated. I feel like it's been a few days. It's been a while. But I have some stuff I'd like to talk about. Oh, first we'll talk about my reading update. So I did start Oathbringer and I made it to page 109, which I'm barely making a dent in this. It is a 1,200 plus page book. So like 100 pages in, looks like I've read barely anything at all, but yet here we are. And from the very beginning, I was like, oh, it just feels so good to be back in this world. So we are off to a great start. We are back with the characters that I know and love. And yeah, they're just dealing with some stuff at the moment. So I'm having a good time with this. In other bookish news, Readathon 4 has been announced for March, which is amazing. I was one of the co-hosts last year for Readathon, and it provided me with the perfect distraction that I needed at a very difficult time in my life. So I love Readathon, like, separately, even if it didn't provide that, like, balm for my soul. It's just a really fun readathon, and I love how Cassidy has it all set up. But yeah, this readathon specifically holds a very special place in my heart, so I'm very excited about Readathon 4. This is the merch from last year, which it was like a school setting. This year, it's like warring families, which is kind of cool. So I'll leave the link to the announcement video down below where Cassidy talks about the readathon, goes over all of the rules, talks about all of the prompts and the teams. I joined the Stags because obviously bestie Rachel is a host for the Stags, so I just want to be on her team. Yeah, with it starting March 1st and like running the whole month of March, I'll have a newborn by then. So I'm not sure how much reading I'll actually get done or like how much I will actually be able to participate. I mean, I'll be on maternity leave, so I'll be home, but I will have a tiny baby to take care of, and I don't know how much work that's going to be or how much time that's going to take up or how tired I'm going to be. So we shall see, but the plan is to try to read at least 2 books in March. Maybe that's overly ambitious with what I've got coming. If you haven't checked out Readathon, make sure you go over to Cassidy's channel, check out the link to that video, and join a team. If you want to be on my team, Stags. She also has a bunch of merch too for like sweatshirts and stuff, and then she does the most beautiful bookmarks ever on her Etsy store, so you can check that out. I'm like I said before, I'm on a budget this year. With daycare costs coming down the line in the fall for me. So I'm on a low buy, low spend journey here. So I unfortunately will not be able to get any of the merch, but it is amazing. You should check it out. But yeah, I am almost 38 weeks pregnant now. So I have a ultrasound appointment tomorrow. I am getting out of breath at every little thing. Like literally I sat down to start this like vlog update and I was like, oh my god, I can't even breathe. Plus having a little bit of a cold doesn't help either, but like everything makes me out of breath now. Literally, like I could take a sip of water and I'd be like, wow, I'm winded. But yeah, I've been trying to pre-film some videos so that even when I am like unable to like film or vlog or whatever, I have some content still coming out. So who knows how long that like those pre-filmed videos will last. I am still hoping that I'll be able to vlog at least for a little bit, especially for Readathon, but again, I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna look like to have a newborn and to be the most sleep deprived I've ever been in my entire life. I don't know is what I'm saying. I don't know. So we shall see, but I do have some really great videos that I'm excited about. I have one in particular that I just absolutely love and I can't wait for it to come out. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. I filmed a video tonight and I edited and uploaded a different video. So I'm trying here. I'm trying, but time is a ticket and I am slowly running out of time. So I'm getting as much done as I can prior to my labor and delivery, but yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Also, I've been doing a bit of a social media detox. One of my like goals this year was to spend less time on my phone, because last year I spent a lot of time specifically on Instagram, where I would scroll and scroll and scroll until I made myself sick, like literally anxious and sick to my stomach. So then I started to set limits on using certain apps. And I've recently just deleted Instagram altogether. Like, I still have my Instagram account, but I've deleted it off of my phone so I can't access it. And I think I've only been doing that for maybe like a week and a half. It's not been very long, but I will say it feels pretty good. The first few days, I was like, I kept like noticing that I would swipe to like go click on the app, and then it's not there, and I'm like, well, now what am I supposed to do? But now that I've like kind of gotten away from it, where it's not so much of a like compulsive habit to open it, it feels pretty good to not have to, you know, use my phone to entertain myself, and it helps the brain. It really truly does. Something to note, if you are an anxious person and you spend a lot of time on social media, even if you just like do it as a way to escape or to like cure your boredom, like something to consider. And Instagram was like my main form of social media. I don't use Twitter or TikTok or Facebook. So like Instagram was like the app for me. Like, so now the only like social media I have is YouTube basically. And I know like technically it's not like a social media detox if I'm still going online and watching YouTube videos, but I look at that in a different way than I look at Instagram. I don't know. I don't think they're necessarily super comparable as far as like social media goes. But anyways, I don't know. I thought I'd mention that because a few of my friends as well have deleted Instagram, and I mean there's nothing wrong with being on Instagram. I used to love Instagram. It was like my favorite app. But it just, when it gets to a point where it's like affecting your mental health, that's when you know like there's a problem. You need to do something about it. So if you're not at that point, feel free to enjoy it. Like, I'm not telling you what to do or anything, but I've just noticed that it has definitely made a difference in just like thoughts that I have, even like was negatively affecting my mental health. I also just didn't like how habitually I would use it. So it's just kind of nice to not have that, again, like I said, like a compulsion to go on it. So I'll get off my soapbox now. I'm done talking about Instagram and social media detoxing. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been up to for the last bit here. Again, I don't remember exactly when my last update was, but that's where I'm at currently. I will still continue to read Oathbringer, and hopefully enjoy it just as much as I'm enjoying it now. Anyway, that is going to be it for this chatty little update. I am going to go now and make a thumbnail for the video that I filmed tonight, so that is done and ready to go, so that once I edit that video, I can upload it and do the, like, put the thumbnail on. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to go now. I'm going to stop talking. I'm just going to say goodbye. I will see you in the next update. Hello everyone, it is now Sunday. I'm not quite sure when my last update was. I don't know how many days it's been. But I did read more of Oathbringer. Let me grab it. So I got to page 206. So I read about 100 more pages. Again, I'm starting to make a little bit of a dent in it. But yeah, I don't have like a ton much more to say about this. I'm just having a good time, and I like Brandon Sanderson's writing in this series. I love the characters, and I'm just excited to see where the story's gonna go. It's starting to really pick up. Like, I shouldn't say it's starting to, but like things are happening, and I'm very interested in where they're gonna go from here. I'm trying to be like super vague because it is the third book and all of the books are gigantic, so I don't want to spoil anything or even like mention characters' names because sometimes that can be a spoiler with like big chunky fantasy series. But yeah, I'm just really enjoying my reading experience for this, so I will continue to read this one until I finish it. Sorry that my updates for that book are like, I'm enjoying it. Okay, that's it. That's all I have to say. But pretty much that is really all I have to say. I am enjoying it. So there's that. I did go to Goodwill today with my mom and I picked up 2 books. So I got Red Rising by Pierce Brown, which I got this one because it was only $3 for the paperback. So I was like, yeah, I think that I would be interested in reading that. I know that Bestie Kara recently, I don't know if she recently read this one or recently reread it to continue the series, but I've heard really good things about it. So it's been on my radar for a very long time. I'm not sure, when did this come out? 2014. So it's been on my radar for quite a while. I just haven't picked it up, and I just saw the paperback and I was like, let me just grab that. And then the other book I picked up, I have already read, and I do already have a copy of it, but it's Migrations by Charlotte McConaghy, which is one of my favorite books. I just absolutely love the writing in this. It's so good. It's about birds, Arctic terns, in a near futuristic society where most wild animals have gone extinct, and the main character wants to follow the migration patterns of these Arctic terns because she thinks it will be their last migration before they go extinct. And she's got like a little bit of a mysterious past, and so there's that to it, but it's just really well written. Like I said, I do already have a copy. I have the hardcover, which I'm not even sure that I will like get rid of. Like, I didn't buy this intending to replace this one, I guess. I don't know. Do you ever, like, when you go to like a used bookstore, when you see a book you love, it's hard not to buy it, even if you already have a copy? I mean, we all know that I prefer paperbacks, so like I could replace it with this, but this hardcover is just like so beautiful. Plus I did annotate in this, so I don't know. I just really wanted the paperback, so that's where I'm at with that one. I picked up those 2 books. Actually, my mom bought them for me, so thanks, Mom. But yeah, I want to try Red Rising. I think it will be an interesting time. Again, I know a little bit about the series. I know it's like mainly like a sci-fi set in space. I think it's set on Mars, and there's like, it's like a dystopian kind of society. We also got a ton of children's books from Goodwill as well, which I was pretty psyched about because some of them are like brand spanking new. Like, if you are looking for children's books, don't go to the store and buy them brand new for like $10 because you can get them from Goodwill and they're like new for like $1 or $2 or like at most $3. Anyways, that's what I've been doing. Speaking of, pregnancy baby update. I am currently 38 weeks and 3 days, so I'm very close to the end, and I know that because not only am I close to like 40 weeks, which is typically like the average length of a pregnancy, but also because I have a scheduled C-section. So due to some complications, it's been recommended from my provider that I go the route of a C-section because going for a natural delivery could lead to a lot of risks and complications that I'm just not willing to like risk it, which is not what I was hoping for. It's not what I have planned for or prepared for. I really, really wanted the experience of a natural delivery, but I also know that I have to make like the safest choice with the information that we have, so I'm at peace with the decision. But he is coming, and it's gonna be next week on Friday, so he'll be a Valentine's Day baby. So by the time this vlog goes live, I will have my baby already, which is crazy to think about because this vlog is gonna post 1 week from today, which means I'll have a baby in less than a week, which is just insane to me because it's been such a journey, and like it's always felt real. Like, yes, it's coming, I'm having a baby, but like the closer and closer we get, I'm like, holy shit, I'm having a baby. But yeah, I'm just really, really excited. So fingers crossed that all goes well. I feel like I'm in good hands. I feel like I'm making the right decision. So yeah, that's the update on little baby. I'll also insert a quick clip of my bump update because like I had popped before, like I've had a popped belly, but like I feel like in the last week it's really gone out. Like I'm really bumping. So yeah, other than that, with like the preparations of getting everything ready for the big day, I guess the only thing that I've really been working on is my screen time, which I talked about a little bit in the last update. So one of my goals this year was to spend less time on my phone, specifically on Instagram, which I have deleted. It's been, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks now, but I still want to like limit my screen time because I've seen like the comparisons of like if you spend 5 hours of screen time a day, that averages out to like this insane amount of time that you're wasting like every year throughout your life. And then if you continue to do that, it's like years off of your life. And I used to use look at like the screen time, and I always used to think like, oh, even if I was like playing music and I had my phone shut off, it would count that as like screen time. Or if I was listening to an audiobook, it would count because like my screen time was like very high, and I was like, oh, that's got to be what it is. It's not. That's just how much time I was literally spending on my phone. So like when your phone is locked, even if you're listening to an audiobook, it's not counting that time as screen time. Like if you leave your phone open while you listen to an audiobook, then it counts that as screen time. Yeah, I am just like really trying to lower the amount of time I spend on my phone. Obviously, some things that I use my phone for are like important, like if I do like my banking on there, or if I'm Googling something, or like if I had like a 2-hour phone call with my mom the other day, like okay, I'm okay with spending 2 hours talking to my mom and having my screen time go up because of that. But it's like the other little things, like the mindless scrolling, which has gone down quite a bit since I've deleted Instagram. Like obviously I don't have anything to scroll on because I don't have any other social media apart from YouTube, but I do spend a lot of time watching YouTube, which is not the worst thing ever because sometimes like, first of all, I want to watch my friends' videos. And then I also want to, like, if I'm looking up a specific topic, I like to watch videos about that where it's like informative, I guess. So I don't feel super bad about like that kind of phone usage or screen time or whatever. But yeah, it's just like the time wasting stuff that's on there, which I think I've pretty much like deleted most things off of my phone that are like real big time wasters. And a lot of times I would play YouTube videos while I was doing something else. Like I would play them while I'm folding the laundry or washing dishes. So it would still count that even though I was technically doing something else while watching. But one thing I found that's like helped me like make more of a conscious decision to use my phone is adding the screen time widget to my home screen. So I literally, every time I like open my phone, I can see how long I've spent on my phone for that day. So I'm just trying to lower that average down. I would really like to lower it down to honestly 2 hours a day, which still seems like a lot, but I was at one point like spending 8 to 10 hours, and I'm like, that's a full-time job? Like what? Especially because I know now that it's not counting like when I play music at work or when I listen to audiobooks and stuff if my phone is closed. It's just like an insane amount of time that I'm like, nobody needs to be on their phone that much. I've definitely rambled about this topic way too much and I need to stop. I just figured I would mention it since that was like my main goal of 2025 was to spend less time on my phone. Anyways, for the rest of the day, I plan to film at least one video, maybe 2, so that when I do have my baby, I still have some content going out. I think I have maybe 4 videos like scheduled already, So even if I'm like taking a break from filming and editing and all that, which I'm sure I will be. So yeah, I'm just trying to get some stuff prepared for that. So I think I'm gonna go at least film 1 video. We'll see how I feel after that. Maybe I'll go for 2, and then I'll probably end up picking up more of Oathbringer. That is the plan. That is it for this very chatty update. So I will see you all in the next update. All right, hello everyone. I am here to close out the vlog. So it is currently Wednesday evening. I'm gonna have my baby on Friday, which is crazy. 2 more sleeps. So I want to finish this vlog so I can edit this last final clip and get it uploaded so that it can post. I have pre-filmed like a lot of different videos, so I will still have content coming out for like the next 6 weeks without having to make more, but I am hoping that at some point I can like film a vlog as well. But again, I don't know what life is gonna look like in a few days, so we shall see. But I do have a reading update on Oathbringer. I am over the 400 page mark. I'm on page 421 now, so I've officially made it a third of the way through. I would say I've made it a decent chunk of the way into this now. Yeah, things are happening. I just feel like I am constantly enthralled with this. We've been getting like our usual points of view that we get, and then we've been getting flashbacks for one of the main characters. I won't say who, but it's interesting to see those flashbacks of them when they were younger because they're completely different to how they are now. So it's interesting because I'm like, I like the older version of you better. But yeah, I'm liking where the story is going, and we just got some information that really rocked some stuff up. So yeah, just a good time, a rip-roaring good time in Oathbringer. So yeah, I'll just continue to read this. So I obviously didn't finish it in this vlog, but that's okay because I don't want to rush through the Stormlight Archive. I want to take my time and like marinate in the story because there's only 5 books. And once it's done, I have to wait like a full decade until the next arc of the Stormlight Archive comes out. So I mean, obviously I still have lots of Brandon Sanderson like backlist books, but the Stormlight Archive is really calling to me, I guess. Like, I'm liking Mistborn. I think I'll like some of his standalones and some of his other books and stuff, but the Stormlight Archive is where it's at for me. So yeah, that is my reading update and life update, I suppose. So it's just crazy to me that by the time you all are watching this video, I will already have my baby and I'll be like coming home from the hospital by that time. Maybe. I might still be in the hospital at this point, honestly, but still, it's just crazy to me because like you're seeing this on Sunday and I'm filming this on Wednesday, and it's just that time discrepancy. Yeah. Anyway, I am just trying to take it like day by day, hour by hour, because if I think too much about it, which like it's pretty much one of the only things that I'm thinking about, but I just like I don't even know. Anyways, that is it for this vlog. That is a wrap on this reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed. I don't even know what to say at this point. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you made it to this point in the video, leave some kind of, you know, emoji. Leave your favorite color heart emoji down in the comments down below to let me know that you made it to the end of this video. My favorite color heart is the light blue heart, so I am gifting that light blue heart to you all. And again, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!